Stop trying to find shortcuts and literally just do the shit that you know you have to do. I cannot tell you the amount of times in my life I have tried to look for little shortcuts, for little things, things I could buy on Amazon, these biohacking things, all this stuff, all for a greater goal, a greater purpose of feeling better in the mind, in the body, in this, in this, in this, better mindset, anxiety release, all this type of shit, right? And at the end of the day, I don't do the fundamental shit that you have to do to feel good. I'll give you the perfect example: meditate. Meditation has been talked about by so many people in my life that I should just do it all the time because all my role models do it. But there's something there in me that just doesn't find time. And that's an excuse. Absolute cope, right? That I don't have time. I have time. I have plenty of time at night where I don't do shit, right? But how many of the people listening to this are you, right? Are you doing this? Are you finding excuses and trying to find little side things, right? Where you're watching YouTube videos for self-help, but you're not doing self-help activities, right? So meditation is a huge one, right? Like working out. I work out. I don't have a problem with working out. The only issue is it's easy now. And that sounds like a blessing, right? That's not a curse at all. That working out comes easy to you. It's easy to go to the gym. Well, guess what? There's no conflict anymore. And like you might think you wouldn't want a conflict, but you have to do hard shit, right? And the gym is truthfully maybe a little bit of a battle, but I know I'm going to go, right? Like at the end of the day, like I can fight with myself all I want, but I just go. I just do it every time. That's just who I am. But with meditation, I don't. I don't find time. And it's funny because I'll complain. My mental's bad. I feel brain fog. I don't have a high self-esteem. I don't have a good opinion of myself. Well, why would you think that, right? Why would that be? Is it maybe because you're doing nothing to cultivate your mind? And maybe some people don't need to meditate to have all these things removed, but some people are like we're not all the same, right? Some people need to work harder than others. And I've seriously tried to remind myself of this because I will look at other people and say, well, they probably don't do any mindfulness practice. And it's like, well, you're not them. Maybe they don't need it. Maybe they need something else, right? But I specifically definitely need a mindfulness practice. And it's just funny that a lot of people sit there and say, I saw some guy's tweet that was like, it's funny on days where I don't read, I feel like an idiot or this. And like days I do read, I feel amazing. I feel educated, like all this shit. And he was just like, it's funny how that works. And I was like, yeah, it is funny because I do the same with mindfulness, right? I sit here and say, my mind is bad, my this is bad, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, no shit. What are you doing to cultivate a good mind? Absolutely nothing. So it's literally just as simple as like doing the shit that you know you have to do, but you're not doing it. And like, don't try to find ways around it, right? Like, I'm going to give an example. Now, did I think this was really going to change my entire life? Not really. But I ordered this, it's called an acupuncture mat. And, acupuncture has been, I haven't even done my research, but like, I know it's been studied for a long time. And I was like, why not like try it out and see if it works? And like, it's cool, right? It's like this, like, these little like spikes and you just like lay back on it and it's supposed to, could make you sleepy. It could give you an energy boost, could kind of release anxiety, helps with like back pain because it's like putting pressure on like everything. So it sort of takes the pain away from a main area. So like a lot of cool reasons for it. But this is an example of like, did I buy this expecting for it to literally change my entire life? No. But there's part of me that is just like, since I'm not meditating, since I'm not doing the things that I really know I should do, I just wanted a shortcut. And I was just buying a biohacking thing just so I could be like, oh my God, like, please, like, can I avoid doing all the other important things and just lay on a spiky mat, right? And again, kind of a bad example, but seriously, like this is what goes on in like the back of my mind. Like, yes, I don't actually expect this to like replace meditation or anything, but it's like you're trying to avoid the hard shit that you don't want to do by coping and trying to find an alternative, a shortcut. And it's like, what are you doing? Just do the fundamentals, just do the basics, because so many people are trying to like find another way. And it's like, you're not even doing the basics because people will preach to you the basics. They'll say, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. And guess what people do? They roll their eyes. They go, dude, everybody talks about this. Like, what do you mean? Do the basics? Like, everybody knows this. But you're not even doing them, right? Like, somebody will preach, meditate, work out, read, get sunlight. And you do like one of them. And you're sitting there. And again, when I say you, I really mean me. But I mean, imagine I'm not the only one. You sit there and you go, oh my God, dude. I've heard this in 1,000 videos. Everybody says to meditate. Everybody says to get sunlight. Do you even do that? Do you even go out in the morning and get sunlight? I haven't even done it yet. To be fair, this sounds like cope, but I've been working. I actually have been like trying to write a Twitter thread, and I haven't been like really just sitting on my ass. I have been sitting on my ass, but I've been sitting on my ass doing stuff. But seriously, like, I haven't even gotten my sunlight yet. That's important. That is important to, I mean, there's a whole science behind it that I'm not really going to go into. It's not even that long of an explanation, but, I've been just trying to do that every morning. And obviously it just makes sense that like humans should get sunlight, but there is obviously like a whole science behind, light exposure, and not just light exposure, like sunlight exposure. And it's obviously a lot more powerful than, fluorescent lights that we have, all around us. But point being is like, just do the basics. Like, literally, if you do the basics, it's so funny because they're called the basics, but you will be ahead of everybody if you do them, because most people don't do the basics. So it's like you're looking for like, how do I get ahead by doing super specific things like above the basics? I want to skip the basics. I just want to get to whatever. And it's like, if you were being taught math, you can't skip the basics, right? Like, you need to know basic math to then move into algebra and move into other shit. So it's like, what's going on here, right? You want to jump right to geometry and you don't even know addition. And it's like, we're going to have a problem there. You don't even know like numbers, like, right? Like, you need some basis of understanding of math, of numbers, of equations to jump to extremely hard stuff. So yeah, imagine I just walked into like pre-K and I was like, I'm ready for geometry. And it's like, dude, you don't even know how to count to 10. Like, you need that. You need that. So many people are so focused on getting past the basics that they don't even do the basics. And it's like, you need step 1 to get to step 2. You can't just go to step 3. How does that work? So I hope this made sense. This was actually a really passionate video. So I actually really am happy with how this turned out. Do the basics and you will be ahead of everybody. And again, you might think, well, they're the basics. Why? Because guess what? Most people don't do the basics. Most people don't do the basics. And yeah, you will be ahead of a lot of people if you just like do the basics and try to get 1% better. 1% better every day. I know that's like a cliche and it's used over and over again, but seriously, like, if you can go into every day and somehow get the tiniest little output, that means like, oh, that was a win. I got better. I did this. I did one more thing. I did one more podcast. I did one more YouTube video. I did one more sentence. I wrote one more tweet. Like, that is getting better. And yeah, so it's as simple as that. Do the hard shit that you're avoiding. You're trying to skip over stuff half the time. And again, by you, I mean me, but I imagine I'm not the only one. So stop trying to shortcut shit and just do what has to be done. Like, this is your sign. Do the shit that you need to do. Meditate. I'm going to go out and get some sunlight. I'm going to ball up outside for a bit. And then I'm definitely going to meditate. And I'm probably going to do it after I go outside, because guess what happens? I save meditation for the nighttime and I never do it. So that has to change. So be able to catch yourself, have that self-awareness to know that you lie to yourself and you tell yourself you're going to do things and then you just like act like you don't have time for it. So yeah, with that said, hope this resonated with you as always. Hope this helps out. And with that said, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.